Have you ever woken up in the morning, reached for a glass of water out of habit, and thought, well, everyone says this is the healthiest thing to do? For years, we've been told that drinking water first thing in the morning is almost magical. It flushes toxins, wakes up the body, and jumpstarts the day. And for many people, that advice works just fine. But after 65, the body doesn't work the same way it used to. What once felt refreshing can sometimes leave you feeling dizzy, nauseous, bloated, or strangely tired instead of energized. If that sounds familiar, you're not imagining things. As we age, our kidneys, digestion, hormones, and even blood pressure regulation change quietly over time. Small habits that never caused problems before can suddenly start working against us. That's why today's conversation is so important. We're going to talk honestly about why drinking water first thing in the morning can actually be harmful for some seniors, and more importantly, how to avoid the mistakes that can slowly wear down your health. This isn't about stopping water altogether. It's about understanding your body now, not the body you had at 40. Let's ease into this together. Imagine your body in the early morning like an engine on a cold day. It's been resting for hours. Blood pressure is lower, digestion is slow, and your stomach lining is more sensitive. When you suddenly pour a large amount of cold water into that system, it can create stress instead of support. One of the biggest mistakes many seniors make is drinking a large glass of cold water immediately after waking up. Cold water can shock the digestive system, especially an empty stomach that's already producing less protective mucus than it used to. This can trigger stomach cramps, acid reflux, or that uncomfortable heavy feeling in the chest that some people mistake for heart trouble. There's also the issue of bladder pressure. After 65, many people experience changes in how their body regulates pressure when standing up or waking up. Drinking a large amount of water very quickly can temporarily lower blood pressure even more. That's why some seniors feel lightheaded, weak, or unsteady shortly after their morning water. It's not that water is bad, it's the timing, temperature, and amount that matter. A slow, gentle start is often much kinder to an aging system. Another common mistake is believing that more water is always better. You might think, I've been dehydrated all night, so I need to catch up. But overnight dehydration in seniors is usually mild, and the body is surprisingly good at balancing itself. When you suddenly flood your system with too much water on an empty stomach, you dilute stomach acid. That acid isn't just there for digestion, it also helps kill bacteria and prepare your gut for food. When it's weakened, digestion becomes slower and less efficient, leading to bloating, gas, and poor nutrient absorption later in the day. Over time, this can contribute to fatigue and even vitamin deficiencies. Let's talk about another mistake that doesn't get discussed enough. Many seniors take medications in the morning, often right after waking up. Drinking a large amount of water before or immediately with certain medications can change how they're absorbed. Some pills work best with a small sip of water, not a full glass. Others may irritate the stomach lining when taken on an empty stomach with too much liquid. This can increase nausea or discomfort and make people think the medication itself is the problem, when it's actually the way it's being taken. There's also a quiet but important issue related to the bladder. As we age, bladder capacity and control can change. Drinking a lot of water first thing in the morning can create an urgent need to urinate before your body is fully awake and steady. This increases the risk of slips or falls, especially if you rush to the bathroom while still groggy. Falls are one of the biggest health risks for seniors, and small habits like this can unknowingly increase that danger. What makes this topic tricky is that none of these mistakes feel dramatic. They don't cause immediate alarms. Instead, they slowly chip away at comfort, energy, and confidence. You might just feel off in the mornings and assume it's normal aging, but often it's not aging at all. It's the routine that needs adjusting. Now, this doesn't mean you should wake up and avoid water completely. The key is listening to your body and giving it what it needs in the right way. Many seniors do better starting the morning gently with a few sips of room temperature water, not a full glass.
Giving your body time to wake up before asking it to process large amounts of liquid can make a surprising difference in how you feel throughout the day.
As you start to look at your mornings more closely, you may notice something interesting. It's not just the water itself that affects how you feel, but what's missing when water is the only thing going into your body. One quiet mistake many seniors make is drinking plain water first thing in the morning without considering electrolytes. When we're younger, our bodies hold on to minerals like sodium, potassium, and magnesium more efficiently. After 65, that balance becomes more fragile. Drinking a large amount of plain water can further dilute those minerals, especially if you already run a little low. This can leave you feeling weak, shaky, or unusually tired, even though you did what you thought was healthy. Some people describe it as a hollow or drained feeling, almost like their energy never fully turns on. It's not dehydration causing that sensation, but imbalance. The body needs both water and minerals to move fluids into cells properly. Without that balance, hydration doesn't actually hydrate where it matters most. That's why some seniors notice they're drinking plenty of water but still feel dry, fatigued, or lightheaded. Another mistake that slips under the radar is ignoring natural hunger and thirst signals in favor of rigid health rules. You may have heard, drink water before anything else, so you follow that rule even when your body is quietly asking for something different. As we age, these signals become softer and easier to miss. Sometimes what feels like thirst in the morning is actually mild low blood sugar. Drinking water alone in that situation can make you feel worse, not better. You might notice trembling hands, anxiety, or sudden weakness that seems to come out of nowhere. When that happens, people often assume something serious is wrong, when in reality, the body simply needed gentle fuel before fluid. A small bite of food, even something very simple, can stabilize the system so that water is better tolerated afterward. The body works as a team, not in isolated steps, and after 65, that teamwork becomes more important than ever. There's also the habit of drinking water too quickly. This one is incredibly common. You wake up, grab a glass, and drink it all at once because that's what you've always done. But an aging stomach empties more slowly, and rapid intake can stretch it uncomfortably. This can trigger nausea, reflux, or that heavy pressure that makes you want to sit down instead of start your day. Slow sipping gives the nervous system time to adjust and keeps the digestive tract calm. Think of it less like filling a tank and more like easing into motion. Another issue worth talking about is how morning water interacts with movement. Many seniors get out of bed and head straight to the kitchen, drink water, and then stand or walk immediately. Blood pressure naturally shifts when you move from lying down to standing. Adding a sudden influx of water can exaggerate that shift. That's when dizziness hits, vision narrows, and balance feels uncertain. These moments are brief, but they're risky. A small pause, a moment to sit upright, take a breath, and let your body adjust before drinking can make mornings feel much safer and steadier. Some people also believe that morning water will wake up digestion on its own. In reality, digestion responds better to warmth and routine. Cold or excessive water can actually slow things down. That sluggish feeling after breakfast, the bloating that seems to last all morning, often starts with how the stomach was treated before food ever arrived. Seniors who struggle with constipation sometimes unknowingly make it worse by overdoing cold water too early, which tightens the gut instead of relaxing it. There's an emotional side to this habit too. Many seniors carry a quiet fear of dehydration because it's talked about so often. That fear can lead to overcorrecting. You may push yourself to drink even when it doesn't feel good because you're worried about what might happen if you don't. But health isn't built on fear, it's built on awareness. Learning to trust your body again is one of the most powerful shifts you can make after 65. When you slow down and observe how you actually feel after your morning water, patterns begin to appear. Maybe you feel calmer when you sip slowly. Maybe you feel stronger when you eat a little first. Maybe room temperature water feels soothing while cold water feels harsh.
These are not small details. They're messages from a body that has earned the right to be treated with care and respect. Morning routines should support confidence, not create discomfort. They should help you feel grounded, not rushed or uneasy. Once you start adjusting this one habit with kindness and curiosity instead of rigid rules, everything else in the morning begins to flow more smoothly. And that understanding naturally leads to a deeper realization about how even the smallest daily choices can protect your health, especially when your body has changed and your needs are no longer the same as they once were.
As this awareness settles in, it becomes easier to see that the goal isn't to give up water in the morning, but to change the relationship you have with it. One of the final mistakes many seniors make is treating hydration like a chore instead of a conversation with the body. When you follow rules without listening, you miss the signals that guide you toward comfort and strength. After 65, your body speaks more quietly, but it also speaks more honestly. Learning to respond to that voice can transform not just your mornings, but your overall sense of well-being. Another overlooked issue is how long some people wait before drinking anything else after that first glass of water. If water sits alone in the stomach for too long, especially in large amounts, it can create a feeling of emptiness, nausea, or even mild stomach pain. This is often mistaken for acid problems or age-related digestion issues. In reality, the stomach was simply asking for balance. Even a small, gentle addition, like a light breakfast, can help the stomach move water along naturally and comfortably. When food and fluid work together, digestion becomes smoother and energy feels more stable. There's also the belief that morning discomfort is just something you have to accept as part of aging. Feeling weak, dizzy, or unsettled early in the day becomes normal because so many people experience it. But normal doesn't always mean inevitable. Many seniors are surprised by how much better they feel simply by changing the way they start their day. The body is incredibly responsive, even later in life. It doesn't need perfection, just consistency and care. Hydration throughout the day matters more than that first glass ever could. Sipping steadily, paying attention to thirst cues, and pairing fluids with meals often leads to better hydration than forcing water at one specific time. When you remove the pressure to do it right first thing in the morning, you create space for a more relaxed and natural rhythm. That rhythm supports the kidneys, the heart, and the digestive system far better than any strict rule. What's encouraging is how quickly these changes can make a difference. Many people notice improvements within days. Mornings feel calmer, balance feels steadier, that heavy or uneasy feeling in the stomach fades. Confidence grows because you're no longer starting the day in a state of discomfort or doubt. Instead, you begin with a sense of control and understanding. It's also important to remember that everyone's body is different. What feels right for one person may not feel right for another, and that's perfectly okay. The goal isn't to copy someone else's routine, but to create one that supports your own needs. Aging is not about loss, it's about refinement. It's about adjusting habits so they fit who you are now, not who you used to be. If you've ever felt frustrated by conflicting health advice, you're not alone. One expert says do this, another says do the opposite. The truth often lives in the middle. Gentle adjustments, thoughtful timing, and self-awareness usually outperform extreme rules. Your body has carried you through decades of life. It deserves patience, not pressure. As you move forward, try approaching your mornings with curiosity instead of habit. Notice how your body responds. Give it time to wake up. Treat hydration as something supportive, not something forced. These small shifts may seem simple, but they can protect your energy, your balance, and your independence in powerful ways. If this conversation resonated with you, I'd love to hear your experience. Have you ever felt off after drinking water in the morning or noticed a difference when you changed your routine? Share your thoughts in the comments so others can learn from your journey too. And if you found this helpful, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel for more honest, practical conversations about staying healthy and confident after 60. Here's to calmer mornings, stronger days, and living your best life at any age.